You know what's fun? Taxes? Said no one ever. Every year, millions of people across the country sit down with a stack of forms, a calculator, and a growing sense of dread. It's a ritual as old as adulthood itself, one that brings out the procrastinator in all of us. Whether you're a freelancer with a shoebox full of receipts, or a family just trying to figure out what counts as a deduction, tax season is rarely anyone's idea of a good time. Except maybe an accountant who's really into spreadsheets. For them, tax season is like the Super Bowl. Numbers to crunch, forms to file, and a chance to show off their mastery of the tax code. They thrive on the challenge, finding satisfaction in every perfectly balanced ledger and every loophole discovered. But for the rest of us, the world of taxes is a confusing maze of jargon, deadlines, and, let's be honest, a little bit of fear. But for the rest of us, taxes are about as enjoyable as a root canal. The forms seem endless, the instructions are written in a language only tax professionals understand, and the fear of making a mistake is always lurking in the background. It's no wonder so many people put it off until the very last minute, hoping that maybe, just maybe, the tax fairy will show up and do it for them. And tariffs, well, they're basically taxes on stuff we buy from other countries, but unlike the taxes we pay every April, tariffs are hidden in the price tags of everyday items. They're the silent partner in every international transaction, quietly adding a little extra to the cost of your favorite imported goods. Whether it's electronics from Asia, wine from Europe, or coffee from South America, tariffs are there, lurking in the background. Think of it like this. Imagine you're at the grocery store, you've got your cart full of deliciousness, and then bam! Right before checkout, someone slaps a tariff on your imported cheese. Suddenly, that wedge of brie or that block of Parmesan costs a few dollars more than you expected. It's not just cheese either. Tariffs can affect everything from cars to clothing to the phone in your pocket. The prices go up, and you're left wondering why your grocery bill is suddenly so much higher. Suddenly, that brie is looking less like a treat and more like a symbol of economic warfare. You might find yourself putting it back on the shelf, opting for a domestic alternative, or just skipping it altogether. It's a small decision, but multiplied by millions of shoppers, it can have a big impact on what stores stock, what farmers produce, and even what countries trade with each other. The government sometimes uses tariffs to try and protect American businesses. The idea is that by making imported goods more expensive, local products become more attractive. This can help keep factories running, protect jobs, and support industries that might otherwise struggle to compete with cheaper foreign goods. It's a strategy that's been used for centuries, from the early days of the Republic to the trade wars of today. The idea is that if things from other countries are more expensive, people will buy American-made products instead. In theory, this boosts the local economy, encourages companies to hire more workers, and keeps money circulating within our borders. You might find yourself choosing a Made in USA label, feeling a little patriotic as you do your part to support domestic businesses. But here's where things get tricky. While tariffs can help some industries, they can also make life more expensive for everyone else. When the cost of imported goods goes up, so does the price of everything that relies on those goods, whether it's raw materials for factories or finished products on store shelves. Sometimes companies pass those costs on to consumers, and suddenly, your weekly shopping trip is a lot pricier than before. Sounds good in theory, right? Protecting jobs, supporting local businesses, and encouraging people to buy American-made products all seem like positive goals. But the reality is that tariffs can have ripple effects throughout the economy, affecting everything from the price of groceries to the health of entire industries. Well, hold on to your wallets, folks, because the reality is a little more complicated. Tariffs might sound like a simple solution, but in practice, they can lead to higher prices, trade disputes, and even shortages of certain products. So next time you're at the store, staring at that expensive cheese, remember, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just supply and demand. Let's talk cars. Not just any cars, but the kind that are changing the way we think about driving, the environment, and even our wallets. Cars have always been more than just a way to get from point A to point B. They're a symbol of freedom, innovation, and increasingly a reflection of our values. In today's world, the car market is evolving faster than ever, with electric vehicles leading the charge toward a cleaner, greener future. Specifically, let's talk about BYD, a Chinese company that's been making waves around the globe. BYD isn't just another car manufacturer, they're at the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution. Their cars are sleek, packed with cutting-edge technology, and, perhaps most importantly, they're affordable compared to many competitors. In China and other parts of the world, BYD has become a household name, known for making electric vehicles that are accessible to everyday people. Now imagine you're in the market for a new car. You've done your research, watched countless reviews, and you've got your eye on a shiny new BYD. Maybe it's the futuristic design that caught your attention, or the promise of zero emissions. Maybe it's the impressive range or the fact that it comes loaded with features you'd expect to pay a premium for elsewhere. You picture yourself behind the wheel, enjoying the smooth, silent ride and feeling good about making a choice that's better for the planet. It's got all the bells and whistles. Think panoramic sunroof, advanced driver assistance, and a high-tech infotainment system. It's good for the environment, thanks to its zero tailpipe emissions, and it's easy on the wallet, with a price tag that undercuts many rivals. For a lot of people, a car like this could be a game changer, making electric vehicles more accessible and appealing than ever before. But then those pesky tariffs come into play. Tariffs are essentially taxes placed on imported goods, and in this case, they're aimed squarely at cars made in China. The idea is to protect domestic car manufacturers from foreign competition, but the reality is a bit more complicated. When tariffs are imposed, the cost of bringing a BYD into the country goes up, sometimes by thousands of dollars. Because of tariffs on Chinese-made cars, that BYD you had your heart set on just got a whole lot more expensive. Suddenly, the car that once seemed like a smart, affordable choice is now out of reach for many buyers. The price jump isn't just a minor inconvenience. It can be a deal breaker, forcing people to reconsider their options or settle for something less exciting. Suddenly, that American-made car that was a little out of your price range is starting to look more appealing. Maybe it doesn't have all the features you wanted, or maybe it's not as eco-friendly, but at least it fits your budget. This is exactly what tariffs are designed to do: make domestic products more competitive by making imports more expensive. But is that really the best outcome for consumers? But here's the thing. Tariffs don't just make things more expensive, they can also limit our choices. When certain cars are priced out of the market, we lose access to innovative technology, new designs, and potentially better deals. It's not just about protecting local jobs or industries, it's about the trade-offs we make as consumers. In the end, the price of protectionism isn't just measured in dollars, it's measured in the options we lose and the progress we might miss out on. Remember that imported cheese we talked about earlier? It might seem like a small luxury, but it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how tariffs can impact our daily lives. That cheese is just one example of the many products that can become more expensive or harder to find when tariffs are put in place. But the effects go far beyond the specialty foods aisle. Tariffs can affect a whole lot more than just luxury snacks. Think about the things you buy for your family every week. Baby clothes for your newborn, the latest electronics for your home, or even the medicine you rely on to stay healthy. When tariffs are imposed on these everyday essentials, the costs don't just disappear. Instead, they get passed down the line. And it's regular people, like you and me, who end up paying more at the register. Suddenly that new phone or those diapers cost a little extra, and your monthly budget starts to feel the squeeze. When tariffs are slapped on these everyday items, it's American families who end up footing the bill. Imagine standing in the checkout line, watching the total climb higher than you expected, and realizing you have to make tough choices about what to put back. For many families, these higher prices mean cutting back on things they need or want, whether it's healthy food, school supplies, or even a night out together. The stress of stretching every dollar becomes a constant companion. We're talking about higher prices for essential goods, which means less money in your pocket to spend on other things. Maybe you skip buying that extra bag of groceries, or you hold off on replacing a worn-out appliance. Over time, these small sacrifices add up, and the impact ripples through your entire household. It's not just about tightening your belt for a week or two, it's about changing the way you live, plan, and provide for your loved ones. And it's not just about prices either. Tariffs can also lead to shortages, meaning you might not be able to find the products you need, even if you are willing to pay a premium. Imagine walking into your local store and seeing empty shelves where your favorite products used to be, or having to visit multiple stores just to find basic necessities. These shortages can be especially tough for families with specific needs, like parents searching for a particular formula or patients needing a certain medication. In the end, tariffs don't just hit your wallet, they can change your entire shopping experience, making it harder to get by and plan for the future. Tariffs don't just hurt consumers, they also pack a punch to small businesses. Imagine you're a small business owner who relies on imported materials to make your products. Suddenly, those materials become way more expensive because of tariffs. What do? You could try to eat the cost, but that's going to put a strain on your already tight margins. Or, you could raise prices, but that risks driving away customers. It's a lose-lose situation, and it's one that many small businesses are struggling with. The economy is a delicate ecosystem, and tariffs are like throwing a wrench into the gears. When tariffs disrupt global trade, it creates uncertainty and instability, which can have ripple effects throughout the entire economy. Think about it. If businesses are uncertain about the future, they're less likely to invest and hire new workers. This can lead to slower economic growth, which means fewer jobs and less money flowing through the economy. We've already talked about BYD and the car industry, but tariffs have also hit a wide range of other industries, from agriculture to technology. Remember that fancy new smartphone you've been eyeing? Yep, tariffs could make that more expensive too. The cosmetics industry has also taken a hit, with tariffs on imported ingredients driving up the cost of makeup and skincare products. And let's not forget about the agriculture industry, where tariffs on imported soybeans and other crops have hurt American farmers. Trade is a two-way street. When we put tariffs on goods from other countries, those countries often retaliate with tariffs of their own on American products. It's like a giant global game of, you started it. This tit-for-tat tariff war can escalate quickly, hurting businesses and consumers on both sides. It also creates tension between countries, making it harder to cooperate on other important issues. Tariffs are often presented as a way to protect American jobs, but the reality is far more complex. While tariffs might provide a temporary boost to certain industries, they can also lead to job losses in others. For example, tariffs on imported steel might benefit American steel workers, but they also hurt industries that rely on steel, such as manufacturing and construction. These industries might have to lay off workers if they can't afford the higher prices for steel. Here's the bottom line. Tariffs are a blunt instrument that often causes more harm than good. They lead to higher prices, fewer choices, and economic uncertainty. They hurt American families, small businesses, and the economy as a whole. Instead of resorting to tariffs, we need to find smarter, more strategic ways to promote fair trade and protect American interests. We need to work with our trading partners to create a global trading system that benefits everyone, not just a select few. Because, when it comes to trade, a rising tide should lift all boats.